Hey guys, Shooting Lefty here, and I got a treat. It's the SP-01 from CZ. I recently just picked this up about a month or so ago. Been shooting it on and off lately. This is hopefully will be my replacement for my MMP9 for IDPA and other shooting competitions. I've been looking at them. A guy I shoot with has one that's pretty decked out, and I was shooting a little bit and started playing with it a little more because I've been interested in something different, and I really was liking the way this felt in the hands and just in shooting in general. I mean, I like my MMP, but this just has a real nice, sexy appeal. And great shooter. So I got one. I've been shooting it on and off here lately. I've only put I don't know, maybe a couple hundred rounds through it. Only shot about 2 matches, I think, with it. Doing okay. Just still getting used to everything. Since, double action, a little bit of a bear. You can see it's a little gritty there in the trigger. But, single action, just smooth. A little bit of creep, and then nice smooth break. So, besides the double action, drawing from double action, we can always pull the shot. I got some parts coming from Cajun Gun Works that I'm going to be installing. I got new sights. I'm going to do a fiber optic front and blacked out rear. Spring kit, and also replacement hammer and sear. Now hopefully it'll do some install videos on it, because there's only about one video really that goes in depth on replacing parts that I've found. There's only a handful that actually go into real dismantling of the weapon. Yeah, and just so you know, these are not the grips that came with it. I had the rubber grips there. I ended up shaving down, you can see, this side, since I noticed these were a little, even though I got big hands, I noticed these were sticking a little out more than I'd wanted to, and when I was drawing and stuff, my finger, especially when I'm drawing from double action, just wasn't getting enough profile on the trigger. So, with these wood grips, or plastic wood grips, I get a better profile with my finger on the trigger, so it's a little thinner. Because one of my buddies had these, so he gave them to me for cheap. That way I wasn't spending $80 right away for some of the different grips, which I may do eventually, but for right now these will work just fine. So, I wanted to do a review on this, since this is actually a really nice left-handed gun, believe it or not. Some lefties have to have ambidextrous everything or it's set up. Me, I don't mind it. I actually like, for the most part, taking a stock gun that's mainly for right-handed guys and using it from there. That way, if I ever have to pick up a gun from somebody, I can pretty much handle it. It does have the ambidextrous safety, which is nice. So if you run cock and lock, you can, run it with that. Other than that, if the magazine release is ambidextrous, you can swap those around. I just leave it, and you can see you have a nice pronounced mag release, so you can really get on it, and you just get on it that way. And as far as slide stops and stuff like that, I'm able to manipulate everything with my finger, just by the little slide right there with the knuckle, and lock it, and then you don't really want to let those slide. But yeah, so everything can be done left-handed. And one reason why I was looking at that, because with the MMP that I had, it was just, the ambi on this side was just, you couldn't do it. I even tried going in and shaving down, the trigger bar and all that stuff. to try to see reducing any friction points, polishing out, and it was a bear. You almost had to turn the gun like this in order to really release it, where over here you could. And then also, you could just do the mag slam at it release, but I'd practice it and it worked just fine. And then in competition, it always missed a round and I'd be on an empty chamber and I'd just have to rack it again. So I was looking for an alternative where I could just, basically tap, rack, and slide. And this does the trick, because you can just get up here with the finger right there. Even if you wanted to do it here, you could. Or I just use basically where my finger would be anyways when you go to reload. It's right there. And then you just come down, then onto the trigger. And then for show and clear, or for just a slide lock, you just put some upward pressure and lock as it comes back. And that's it. So yeah, the only thing I've done to it besides the grips is I did use some of the Sight Bright, or Bright Sights, excuse me. As you can see, that's the orange. I got the kit. This stuff will last you, I would almost say they sell it individually on the site, unless you just want to provide a variety of stuff just in case, or you want to do different colors. They do sell individual colors on their website. I just got the pack just for the shits and giggles, really, since it's only like $25, something like that. But I used the orange for pickup there to practice getting my front and side requirement quicker for better accuracy. And then, like I said, shortly I'll be upgrading that to a fiber optic and blacked out rear, so that should help a lot. But they do help for training and seeing if that's the route you want to go, before spending money on different sites. Does have the rail, so you can do that. But yeah, that's the SPO1. Great firing gun, great shooter. The low bore access really helps it to stay in the hand better, and when firing, very little recoil. You hardly feel it. This gun, the first few times, one of the first times I actually really shot it was at a competition, because I got it, a holster came in, and then the next day I had a match, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to try it. And for anybody of you who's out there with an MMP9, which this is a G-Cold holster, it's not the best fit, but it will go in, and it does go over the trigger, and it holds it in there fairly well, so you can use it if you're in a pinch. But I decided to shoot it, and one thing I noticed was this pistol got on target faster than my eyes would. With the MMP, it was more like shoot, manage the recoil, bring it down, and shoot. Whereas this was bam, and I actually was trying to look for the sight where it was already on target and waiting for me to shoot, and not the other way around. But great hand, especially with the big hands that I have. Came with two mags. And then I have recently picked up one of the Medgar 19 rounders. So 19 plus 1, 20 rounds. Impressive for a 9mm. The only downfall is if you're a weight weenie like some of you Glock guys, this might not be your cup of tea. Because this is a man's gun. It's like a 1911, nice all steel frame. So yeah, it's meant for real shooters, I guess you could say. And I know I'll probably get slack for that, but fuck them. If you can't take a joke, get off the internet and go live in a cave. But this is a phenomenal pistol. If you can find one, grab it. It's kind of the underdog in some places. Some people really know them, some people don't. I think came across some reviews like Hickok and some of those other guys. And then I saw a buddy shooting it, and I shot it, and it was butter. It's got forward serrations, so if you want to do press jacks or just cock from the front. Even though and one thing I remember I came across this when I was first looking at them, and I saw the short slide, the smaller slide, and I was wondering if that would work, because before I was just doing on a reload, bam, and I didn't know if that would be enough to grab. but now I can do just a release and be fine. But it's a little small if you have to do a manual, but it just is one of those things. It would take practice to get used to, instead of just being able to grab it. You kind of finagle it a little bit. But that's one thing that I was worried about first when I was first looking into them. But with just a little bit of practice and just getting used to it, you'd be just fine. But other than that, but yeah, if you got one local, pick one up. If you can't find one, great. Great guns, fit well in the hand. And there are different models. I forget all the ones that are already tricked out. I think it's not the Phantom, the Shadow. I think it is. That's already tricked out and stuff. Yeah, and like I said, I will be hopefully doing another video or two, depending on how things go, on the different upgrades that I'll do as far as sights, mainspring, and firing pin springs, and the hammer, the race hammer. So yeah, look forward to those. Any questions or comments, let me know. See you.